Okay, now that we've practiced our first 8, let's go on to the next 7, the last of them. We're not really going to do our stippling that requires a special brush. But let's start with our wax resist. I threw a couple crayons in all of the bags, and we're just going to draw a few triangles here. I'm going to draw one little one in the background with a smiley face under it, and this is to symbolize a boat. We know that colors get darker and brighter as they come forward. Also, objects get larger. So I'm going to symbolize this boat here with my little smiley under it. And then my last triangle is going to be the largest one, right down here closest to the viewer. And that's you over there. And with my smiley face under it just to symbolize a boat. So we're good there. The next thing I want to do to prep this is grab some masking tape, if I'm able to find the front. And what this does is literally mask and cover the paper, the surface, so that it does not get paint on it. I'm just going to cut some stripes. You can cut any shape you want out of here. Maybe I'll just cut that there as a horizon line, and then maybe I have a sun setting right like this. And if I want, I can make some cute little triangles coming out of that sun setting. I just make things up as I go. I never know what I'm going to do from all of my examples. Here we are. Maybe just a little ray of sunshine here. Let's get 3 more. One in the middle here. And then one on this side. And you're smart. You can already see what this is going to look like. And last but not least, there's a little piece on this side. There we go. All right, we are ready to paint again. This is my ocean, so I am going to take some blue-green. Maybe it's a lake. Let's mix it over here on our plate. I'm going to add a little brown. Rarely ever is water pure like that. And then when I use enough water, come here, we need more blue. There we go. Maybe I'll just grab some straight from here. Cool. It's going to be darker and brighter up in the foreground, lighter and duller in the more dull in the background. And I'm going to, there we go, blend this down. Light to dark, small to large, dull to bright. That's how we paint. Adding salt. Let's make a beautiful night sky. How about an Upper Peninsula night sky? So I'm going to add a little bit of blue violet, take my black, grab some of my blue. This is a beautiful night sky color. Here you want to make sure you've got a good healthy mix of water and paint, pigment. There's my night sky. Maybe it's more blue in some areas, maybe more blue violet in other areas. Just let that mix right there together on the paper, wet into wet. And now I got myself some salt, and we're just going to sprinkle that in here, and we're going to make little stars in the sky and let that dry. Next technique is a sponge. Sponge is kind of like a dry brush. You don't want too much pigment in it, and we're going to make a nice fall tree, a tree in autumn with its leaves turning colors. So I am going to grab this. Ooh, that yellow green is really soft now. These are the semi-moist oval watercolors from Pring. I love them. I don't know how people don't love these. My favorite. And then maybe a little yellow orange we can add in our tree, and maybe a little red orange. So I'm just going to pre-wet, excuse me, these. There we go. How about some brown? Okay. Now I take my dry sponge. It doesn't matter which side of it. And we're going to start obviously with some green on the tree. So here's how you can make leaves. Here's how, again, you can make a lot of different things. Put my sponge in there and my tree color is changing. Here's some yellow orange. You want to get the texture of the sponge. So if it's too wet, what's going to happen is it's all going to kind of flow together like it did up here in the wet on wet. And here we have our little tree that's changing colors for the fall. So that's how we would do some leaves. Spattering is a nice mess. So maybe a nice paint spatter. Let's go with this one. And you literally fill your brush and just brush it across your finger. And you can see what kind of mark that makes. It's truly a spatter. Some kids lift up, don't lift up. Just brush it against your finger here. The more water and pigment you have, the bigger drops it's going to make. The more dry it is, the smaller marks it's going to make. Let's go down to we're going to skip scumbling and stippling for now. Basically what that is you have to have a flat brush. It's got to be flat like this. Normally it's a round flat, and it's I should do maybe a red, orange. No, I'm not going to do that. But again, it's a dry brush. I want to do like hydrangeas. This is good for hydrangea flowers. Here's a nice blue-violet hydrangea. And if you have the right amount of water, you'll be able to use it on the top, but see, too much water, it makes it a blob. Let's go to our sunset. We're going to have a nice yellow-orange around the sunset, and that sky, maybe some red-violet in that sky. Paint right over that. And then into probably a blue-violet up at the top here. So there's my gradation of the sky. Underneath, it'll be our ocean, darker in the foreground, lighter near the background horizon line. And of course, there's always a reflection in here. So I'm going to put horizontal lines for the sun's reflection. Now I used yellow-orange over this blue, so it's turning a bit green because of the yellow in it. So I am going to come back with a little bit of this red violet and put that in there, and I made a nice little sunset. Last but not least is our plastic wrap. This is saran wrap. It's found in the cabinets at home, maybe a plastic bag you can use. Cut up a bag if you don't have any saran wrap at home. And I'm going to make some rocks. So I am going to grab some of my black. I'm going to grab some of my brown. Sometimes we make a giraffe pattern. This is good for rocks. Maybe ice on a lake. That's kind of cool. You want plenty of water in it. So let's go with this color. Put my water in there. Again, everything starts with water. Hence the name watercolor. It's the root word there. It's our first word, water. I was going to make this like rocks. I do want to add some highlights in there. And let's see what this does. Some shadows. Let's just drop some darker black. Remember, we're never using pure black, so let me mix this over here. And then I'm going to grab some of this white, throw it in here, and this is going to be my rocky shoreline. I take my plastic wrap now, put it over it, and pinch it together. And there, once that dries, you will see the texture. So we're going to let everything dry. Once it's all dry, I can go back and put my cattails. I was going to make this cattails, so I can put a few little, cattails on top of here. I can put these, make these into cattails also, just by adding the little brown tips. Again, variety is the spice of life. Some are small, some are medium, some are large. And I'm just suggesting things. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist here. All right. So again, this could be, if you had a giraffe in your picture, you could make the giraffe texture. You could make ice. It could be a rocky shoreline. And so now we're done with this, and I am ready to go on to the next part of the watercolor. And maybe I'll just keep going with my lessons today, and you can watch them at your leisure. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back with the next part of watercolor painting.